Decompressing during the game. Stephen A., what do you make of that?
Well, like I said earlier, I thought it came across as really, really weak. But then I want to pause and give, sort of retract that a little bit. It's not something that I've heard of. It's not something that I think a guy should be doing. But when he said he's done it many times, then that kind of changes my feelings a little bit. Because if you've done it many times, that means the coach understands it, other folks understand it, and it has nothing to do with the moment per se. Just during a game, that's just your formula. It's something that you decide to do whenever you're coming to the bench. If you're going to go to the bench, coach takes you out the game, and it's something that you've done on many occasions, then I don't embrace it with the same level of cynicism that I did earlier. I didn't hear his quote when we first talked about it, Skip, in the first segment. But hearing it there, I must contend that I feel a little bit differently. I thought it came across as incredibly weak when I first heard about what happened. But when I listened to his quote, if it's something that he has done on many occasions during the regular season and other places, well, then that's just what you do. That's entirely different than struggling, being demoralized, completely overwhelmed, and then as a result, that's why you did it. If that's not the case and it's just something that you normally do and the coach and everybody is aware of it and they have no problem with it, then I can't see why I would have a problem with it.
Okay, I don't want to be too hard on Kyle Lowry either. I've always respected him and his game. And by the way, and you know this very well because you spent, 16 years in Philadelphia working?
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry's a Philly product. Went to high school in Philly, obviously went to Villanova, a city known for its basketball toughness, a school known for its basketball toughness, national champs. And now he's 30 years of age, and we've watched him in the last two series go through horrendous shooting slumps. He started off those first two games against Miami, 2 for 14 from three. Now he's 1 for 15 from three in these two games, obviously in the conference finals against Cleveland. And this is just, you know how I am, Stephen A. I don't know him enough to know his background. I know he's made the last two All-Star games, the All-Star teams. But these last two series, he's almost starting to sound to me like Jordan Spieth. You know, it's all about my support group, my family, my friends, we this. And he's starting to sound mentally fragile to me. I get tired of Jordan Spieth. I know it's like an odd analogy, but Jordan Spieth is we this, we did this, we did this. And after a while, I want to just grab Jordan Spieth by the neck and shake him and say, no, you did it. You hit those balls in the water on 12 at Augusta. Sometimes I believe Jordan Spieth, if he'll start saying he will grow up and become the champion that he could become. Now back to Kyle Lowry at age 30. Man, it just seems like there's so much psychoanalysis going on inside his brain, like he's overthinking everything. And then there was the report that on the off day, I guess he texted Ty Lue because they've played together before, knows him well, and asked if he could watch the Golden State-Oklahoma City game with Ty Lue, like at his house. And again, reportedly, Ty Lue said, no, probably not a good idea. It's not a good idea. It's almost like he needs Ty Lue to help fix him, give him a little psychoanalysis, give him a little coaching. Well, obviously, Ty does happen to coach the other team right now. So smacked of desperation. And I believe I heard Brian Wintour say that Kyle Lowry sort of, quote unquote, locked himself in his hotel room all day yesterday trying to get his mind right ahead of game 2. And obviously it didn't work. And then he has to go decompress. I don't know. I've never seen anything quite like this.
Well, let me say this. My comments about Kyle Lowry just a few seconds ago is specifically as it pertains to him leaving the bench to go back to the locker room to decompress. If it is something that he has always done throughout his career, I don't have a problem with it. I damn sure have a problem with him locking himself in his hotel room and going through that stuff mentally. And the biggest problem I have is how the hell are you, I don't care he's your friend and former team, how the hell are you going to call, the coach of the opposing team?
I don't know.
that you're going up against. I mean, how you going to call him, to come over and chill and watch the game and decompress, look for his help while you're going up against him? Now, I mean, it doesn't get much weaker than that. Now, that's pathetic.
Yeah.
That's pathetic. I mean, that's, you know what, to a far lesser degree, even though it has happened with other people, I'm here to tell you, in our business, Skip, that's like a reporter coming up to me or David Aldridge or Mark Stein or somebody and asking us for our breaking information so they could report it too. Now, the funny part about it is that's actually happened. There have been people that have come up to me about it, literally asking like I would tell them. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is that it's sort of tantamount to that. It's like if you're competing, you're competing. You understand? And while you're competing against somebody, at least in that moment, they're the enemy. And to look to the opposing coach to help you out, that's very, very bad. So I'm in no way trying to gloss over that. I was just speaking about going, if you come into the bench and for a few minutes to decompress, there's nothing wrong with it if you do it all the time and the coach is aware of it. Now, if he went and did that and Dwayne Casey turns around and is looking for him because it's not something he's ever done, and suddenly he's done it during the playoffs, that would be a different matter altogether.
I agree. Now, he says he's done it, quote unquote, plenty of times. Maybe playing up in relative obscurity in Toronto, we haven't followed it closely. Maybe that is a common practice of his.
Maybe.
He picked about the worst time he could pick at 46 all to go decompress for a while. And what was the run? 12-2.
12-2. Yeah.
Ball game.
Well, actually, I think it would have made him look worse if they were down and they were losing and getting blown out. The fact that they were tied and, it was still a winnable game, he went to decompress. If you want to get your mind right so you can come out in the second half and do what you do, that would be different. I'm just saying, to me, it would have been a little bit worse if they were losing, because it's not like he asked to come out the game to go to the locker room. If he's coming to the bench and instead of just sitting there for a couple of minutes, he went back in the locker room, I don't really have a problem with
All right. So, last point, and this is why I do not condemn Kyle Lowry. You remember what happened, how he bounced back in Game 7 against Miami? Game 7 again in Toronto. He bounced way back. He had 35 points. He made 5 of 7 threes. He had 9 assists and 7 rebounds. It was an all-star game. Again, Miami's shorthanded, no Hassan, no Bosch. We know all that. But still, it was a big-time, prime-time sort of game. Way to go. So maybe he showed he's fully capable of bounce back. Maybe he bounces back tomorrow. What is it? Tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yep.
Clear his head, get things back on track. Yeah. You guys can't decompress mid-show, though. We're just kidding. I know sometimes you want to, but you can't.
Well, I know somebody who does. Yeah.
Coming up next, Phil Mickelson.
I can decompress for an hour against you.
Making news leading up to the U.S. Open has nothing to do with his golf game. I will explain after the break. Stay with us.